Hi, this is Michelle from Paper Stamp Inc. Thanks for stopping by. Today I'd like to show you how I made this set of note cards using the Dandelion Wishes stamp set. I actually made 2 of each design. I'll show you briefly the 3 designs and we're going to make this one on top. We have the Sending Well Wishes. Now I did bring in a couple of other stamp sets for the sentiments. On this one I used a note of thanks from the Thankful Thoughts stamp set, and this one I used the Make-A-Wish sentiment from our Broadway birthday stamp set. So let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to need today is we're going to need for our paper, we are going to need a piece of Whisper White thick that is 4 1/4 by 11 scored at 5 1/2 for our card base, a piece of Granny Apple Green at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, a piece of Whisper White at 4 by 5 1/2. That's all the paper we're going to need for this project. And then our stamp sets, we're going to primarily use the Dandelion Wishes and this focal image here, as well as the, I don't even know what you call those little pieces of the dandelion that fly away. I guess they're the seeds, because they end up all over our yard. And we're going to use that one. And I did on one of the cards use the Sending Well Wishes Your Way sentiment. And then this is the Broadway birthday where I pulled the Make-A-Wish from. This has a set of coordinating framelits as well. And remember, when you buy the stamp set and the framelits as a pair, when they first come out in the catalog, you get a 10% discount. And then this is another great stamp set that just came out, Thankful Thoughts. Has a lot of wonderful sentiments that you have for the outside as well as on the inside. Some of this, sending thanks to a very gracious giver from a very grateful getter. So if you like to have sentiments on the inside of your cards as well, that's a great set. We can always use thank you notes. For our ink, we're going to use my favorite new color that I seem to be obsessed with, so we may have to have an intervention at some point. Give me a thumbs up if you like the Granny Apple Green as much as I do. So we're going to use that Granny Apple Green, Pineapple Punch, and Balmy Blue. Now I will be also showing a video on how I put these cards into a case that I made for a set that would be a great gift for someone. So go ahead and subscribe down below. If you hit the subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications, then you will be notified when that video is uploaded. The other couple of things that I did use for this card are some Wink of Stella White to get that added white touch on the fluff, and you're going to need a block. This is the E block. It's about 3 1/2 by 5 1/2, I believe are the dimensions on that one. So are slightly smaller than that. So this is the one that we're going to use for the background stamping. So let's go ahead and get our Whisper White out, and you're also going to need a spray bottle for the ink. So this one we're going to use the yellow and the green. And we're going to want to start by putting some ink onto our block, and I'm going to start with the yellow because I want that lighter color to go down first so that I don't, if I do mix them up, I don't have the dark on my light pad. I like the look of coming in at an angle instead of straight across, but you can do whatever you like on your cards. That's the great thing about this watercolor look, and it's so simple. So you might notice I'm using this part of the ink pad. If you look in your ink pads when you open them up, you're going to have one side that is much closer to the edges than this one. It's much easier to get that ink where you want it. So we're going to go on in and put some green down here, that lovely Granny Apple Green. And give it a nice good coating. If it isn't completely covered, that's okay, because they're going to run together some when we do our stamping or our spraying. I'm going to go ahead and close those up so I don't get ink on anything I don't intend to get ink on. I'm going to go ahead and spritz this up, and you'll see how those colors start to meld and run. I think I need a little bit more down on the bottom area here with the green. We're going to let those run around a little, give it a tip. Put our card here. Now I do like to do my first flip over something that's not my cardstock, just in case I have some extra drippage. We're going to go ahead and center this and just set it down about where we want it. Now you'll notice when you first put that down, it's a very solid color, and just watch how that ink is going to absorb into your piece of cardstock. It's a little addicting. It's easy to just sit there and want to watch that and do these over and over. Fun to play with different color combinations. You can do whatever you want. Do as many different colors as you want. And there we go. Look at how that ink just soaked up. There's hardly anything left on that block at all. But I'm going to kind of give a wipe of those little pieces. Now you could let this dry overnight, but I am going to go ahead and bring in a heat tool, and I'm going to do that off camera for you because I don't quite reach, and we're going to give this a quick dry. Now, the other ink color that we're going to use that I hadn't mentioned early is the Memento Tuxedo Black. Again, you could play around with a variety of colors for your dandelions. You could even do some embossing if you'd like. I just thought this was a great quick card. If you need a simple card, you need something that you have to get out right away, change up the sentiments. You've got a thank you, you've got a happy birthday, thinking of you, whatever kind of sentiment that you're looking for. So this is not 100% dry, but we're mostly there. So we're going to go ahead and give it a go for the sake of time. I'm going to come in with my Dandelion Trio and give them a good inking up with that Tuxedo Black. And I am going to center this a little bit up and off center so that I have room for my sentiment down below there. I'll let that set for just a moment. Make sure that that ink transfers. We're going to add our sentiment down here. You know, I'm going to give that another quick blow with the heat tool. That corner had a lot more of the ink pool up there, so I'm going to get a nice good image. Alright, re-ink that, and we're just going to come down in this bottom left corner with the Sending Well Wishes Your Way sentiment. And then I'm bringing in the stamp set that's got the little, let's call them seeds. I'm sure there's some technical name for them. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp those up there. Yes, it's okay if it stamps off of that colored portion, off of your paper. That gives it that little handmade touch that we all like. Now, my favorite glue that I use is the Tomo Mono Multi, but you can pick whatever glue you prefer. I just like this liquid glue. It gives me a chance to shift my papers slightly if they're not exactly where I want them when I first put them down. We're going to just give a nice little trim of color there. And then mount that onto our card base. And we are almost done. Now, I didn't time myself. We'll have to see how quick that card went together, but I would venture to say it was a very, very quick card to put together. I'm going to come on in and give a little stamp on the inside of some of those seeds just to give it a fun little touch. And there we go. We have our set of cards. Oops, one last touch. I almost forgot one of my favorite little tools here. Wink of Stella. Everything's good with a little bling. I'm going to go ahead and add some of this. This is actually a white Wink of Stella. And add some of that onto our tips there. And I'm not trying to be precise. I'm just getting them in the general area. Give it a quick dry with the heat tool. And I hope that this comes across on camera the way that it does in person here. You get this nice little white effect that gives it, I think, just that more genuine look to a dandelion. If you want, you could come on into the centers, put some bling if you'd like, put buttons, add some ribbon around the outside. You know, there's ways you can step this up, but I was looking for a quick and easy way to put together some card sets that I'm going to be doing for some gifts. So make sure that you tune in tomorrow or Sunday for my box that I'm going to be showing. I'm hoping I'll have that video uploaded for you guys tomorrow. But if you subscribe to my channel and ding that bell for the notifications, then you'll get notified whenever I upload videos. Please check out some of my other videos, and I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts. What's your favorite color from the Stampin' Up! Catalog?